American people. I want to thank all of you for being with us. The Patriots are an incredible organization.
It is that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is Aaron Russo, a filmmaker and former politician. To his left is Nicholas Rockefeller of the infamous Rockefeller banking and business dynasty. After maintaining a close friendship with Nicholas Rockefeller, Aaron eventually ended the relationship, appalled by what he had learned about the Rockefellers and their ambitions.
I got a call one day from an attorney woman I knew, and she said, "Would you like to meet one of the Rockefellers?" I said, "Sure, I'd love to." And we became friends, and he began to divulge a lot of things to me. So he said to me one night, he said that there's going to be an event there, and out of that event, you're going to see, we're going to go into Afghanistan, so we can run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We're going to go into Iraq to take the oil and establish a base in the Middle East, and we're going to go into Venezuela and try and get rid of Chavez. And the first two they've accomplished. Chavez they didn't accomplish. And he said you're going to see guys going into caves looking for looking for people that they're never going to find. You know, he was laughing about the fact that you have this war on terror. There's no real enemy. He's talking about how by having this war on terror, you can never win it because so it's an eternal war, and so you can always keep taking people's liberties away. And I said, how are you going to convince people that this war is real? He said, but the media can convince everybody it's real. I mean, you know, it's just that you keep talking about things, you keep saying it over and over and over again, and eventually people believe it. You know, you created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11, which is another lie. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie, and now they're going to do Iran. You know, and it's all one thing leading to another, leading to another, leading to another. Now, I would say, what are you doing this for? What's the point of this thing? You have all the money in the world you ever want. You have all the power. I said, you know, you're hurting people. It's not a good thing. And he would say, what do you care about the people for? Take care of yourself and you take care of your family. And then I said to him, what are the ultimate goals here? He said, the ultimate goal is to get everybody in this world chipped with the RFID chip, and have all money be on those chips and everything on those chips. And if anybody wants to protest what we do or violate what we want, we just turn off their chip.
When the official narrative of criminal terrorists attacked us on 9/11 and nations of the world united to treat us all like criminals and turn the fun and exciting world of air travel into an experience redolent of herding livestock to the market. 19 years later, a virus outbreak happens, and governments of the free world, upon advice of the experts, treat us like infected patients, demanding we quarantine ourselves and cease all economic and social activities. Is this the first time democratic governments have quarantined people who are not sick? Down the long road of tyranny, COVID-19 possibly is serious, highly transmissible, and lethal to a minuscule number of people, and we are past the point of being able to contain and eliminate it. Cowering in our homes, eschewing human contact, and wearing masks is not about saving lives. It is about delaying deaths, or if you prefer the sterile words of the experts, flattening the curve.
Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
we are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend
irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think.
We are now seeing in real time how the shadow of totalitarianism can darken even the sunniest landscape. Paternalistic governors issue decrees and edicts to their benighted subjects. Unelected bureaucrats handle enforcement, and millions of miserable human beings discover the gritty frisson of snitching on thy neighbor. Autocrats don't rely on boot hills and rifle butts alone. They absolutely cannot survive without press propagandists, spying, rate finks, and leagues of toadies throughout society parroting the propaganda and cajoling fellow subjects into compliance. The mainstream infotainment media complex abets the tyranny by censoring dissident and force-feeding us mortality tales about some dumb bubba who scoffed at the experts but ended up killing his family with COVID-19. Is anyone else tired of the cowards of the liberal arts majors and J school grads shouting science like a twisted Thomas Dolby tribute choir? Joyless scolds and miserable sadomasochists rat out neighbors and gleefully recite door pronouncements of new normal. Dining, dating, and sporting events will never be the same. Bars and churches may not open for years to come. L-shaped and K-shaped recoveries. Ordinary citizens spread pernicious fallacies. We can beat this thing. But nothing tops this blame-shaming question. Whom are you willing to kill so that you can go outside? The premise is absurd. Walking my dog on the beach doesn't kill anyone. If going outside is murder, all those voluntary shut-ins are abetting homicide by delivery if they are getting food, groceries, or other products fetched to their doors. By not demanding that the entire economy be shut down and every last person ordered to stay at home, the self-quarantine scolds are conceding that there is an acceptable number of deaths. We need wise leadership, but instead we get snotty questions from lawmakers, like this one from Senator Sherrod Brown. How many workers should give their lives to increase the GDP or the Dow by 1,000 points? Great question, Senator. How many farm workers, meat packers, and truck drivers must be injured or killed so Senator Brown can stroll to the grocery store instead of butchering his own hogs and growing his own vegetables? Do politicians infesting this land understand governments are funded by the economic activity? We need a better response from our government than a tyranny of scientists throwing everything out of work. Dr. Scott W. Atlas explains, basic science underlying a viral pandemic is absolutely critical, but now is a time for the design of sound public policy, and that involves a far broader formulation than a single-minded focus on stopping COVID-19 at all cost. Despite the platoon of nurse wretches threatening to take away the day room TV if we don't shut up and comply, this is about mitigation, not elimination. Life brings no guarantees. Every human activity has a fatality rate, and a responsible society works to minimize death and injury. Zero traffic deaths is a laudable goal, but not economically feasible. No one in the U.S. bats an eye at the 35,000 to 60,000 influenza deaths each year. I am proud of my fellow Americans who have pushed back on the ignorance, hysteria, and petty tyranny. Here are 3 things we can do to defeat this new normal. 1. Do what our mothers taught us. Be charitable, logical, and factual when disagreeing. Be polite and respect the personal space of others. Use a hanky when you cough or sneeze. Wash your hands and stop touching everything. If you're sick, stay at home. Eat right, get some fresh air and sunshine, do some exercise, and stay healthy. In an unknown sea of fear and confusion, your own health is the most important thing you can control. 2. Demand an end to censorship of what we write and read. Global corporations own the online public square. Social media platforms are de facto public accommodations, and the U.S. government should codify that status into law to their end, their execrable censorship of dissenting opinion. 3. Demand government competence. Carp all you want about President Trump and how he should have done more, but we will have multi-billion-dollar standing bureaucracies at the federal, state, and local levels charged with foreseeing, preparing, preventing, and dealing with all kinds of crises, including health emergencies and pandemics. Regardless of who the president is, I expect more from them than excuse-making, Bush-era high school science fair experiments, and attempts to emulate the Chinese model. The infotainment media complex governments across the land and millions of hysterical citizens have fanned the flames of fear and panic far beyond all bounds of rationality. But this too shall pass. What will this hysteria leave in its wake? Again, I am Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. And where we go one, we go all.
You know what letter that is, bro?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.